Libs of TikTok.
Libs of TikTok.
Libs of TikTok.
Libs of TikTok lady. Absolute monster of a woman.
One of the most popular and controversial accounts on social media.
So many people get so angry at that account.
Kill yourself, you Nazi pig. The world will be better when you take your last brush. My name is Kaya, and I am the creator of Libs of TikTok.
Like many terrible things, Libs of TikTok rose to prominence in 2020. I'm looking at you three. 20% of people just rage quit this video because of that one image. Buckle up, guys. The account started with the cryptic Twitter handle Shaya698305552. By late 2020, it settled into the more approachable Shaya_Ray. Back then, it was just a humble reply guy, lurking beneath the post of culture war titans like the legendary Cat Turd. And none other than Mr. Mommy Milkers himself, Ben Shapiro. The account even posted from the Capitol on January 6th, which is hilarious. At this point, she's basically collecting the conservative infinity stones, but instead of snapping her fingers to eliminate half the population, her plan is to drive every progressive absolutely insane. In April of 2021, the account handle was changed to the now infamous Libs of TikTok and began reposting unhinged, progressive, and LGBT videos. In the words of the account owner, who was still anonymous at the time, I went on TikTok and I was like, oh my god, this is a cesspool of insanity and mental illness, which, if you've ever been on TikTok, is an accurate assessment. This is how it works. Person posts something unhinged inside their small echo chamber of followers. Someone finds this video and DMs it to Libs of TikTok. I'm just going to call it Lot from now on. Lot then reposts the whole video to their millions of followers, usually with a snarky one-liner added for flavor. The people being reposted were relentlessly mocked, their small accounts inundated with thousands of people attacking them. Most went private or were deleted altogether. As you can imagine, people started to call out Lot for bullying. But the defense has always been, we're just holding up a mirror to your insanity, merely reposting public videos. And there's a certain consistency to that argument. These videos are public, and most TikTok users do hope to go viral. It's a pretty solid defense. Retweeting someone is not the same as attacking them. Everyone on social media is out there for attention. It's hard to cry bullying just because that attention turned out to be negative.
You were murdered.
And to be fair, some of the content was genuinely hilarious. For example, the queer cafe that was eaten by their communist employees. Mina's World Cafe in Philly was created by two activists to subvert the white patriarchy that is big coffee. Don't laugh. Hey, don't laugh. The founders had this to say about their previous work experience at coffee shops. White ownership neglected to protect their black and trans employees. I knew there needed to be a space where you could have an amazingly made cup of coffee that's not whitewashed. What could possibly go wrong? Within 2 years, the workers organized to seize the means of productions. Good on you, comrade. Releasing the following statements. Workers at Mina's have long been in a labor struggle with the owners. We are facing systemic employer oppression, manipulation, abuse of power, exploitation, anti-blackness, ableism, hostility, and a complete disregard for our livelihoods. This is literally a Portlandia skit.
Thank you for coming to the meeting of baristas and coffee shop workers throughout the city. We hereby begin a manifesto against customers and management.
Like a good communist, they provided a detailed list of grievances and then they started making demands. The penultimate being, owners redistribute the business and begin the process of transforming the business into a co-op.
Fucking commie gobbledygook.
The owners provided this response.
We're complicit in the gentrification and anti-blackness on 52nd Street.
Oh my god, this is like an Antifa equivalent of an ISIS hostage video. Say the fucking line!
We put our community at risk with our presence, as well as our workers. As the owners of the space, we put our workers in harm's way.
Now let's play a game. How do you think this story ends? A. They handed the company over to the employees, who think making coffee is oppressive, and everything went great. The cafe grew into a worker's paradise, and it's the heart of the communist movement in America. B. Hassan Piker and Voosh used some of their massive wealth to buy the coffee shop and turned it into a harm reduction clinic. This clinic handed out free heroin to the oppressed junkie population of Philly. Or C. It shut down immediately. The employees created a GoFundMe to raise $200,000 and buy the business. It raised 5% of the goal. Just some harmless fun, reporting on a bunch of outlandish antics of the hyper left. It's a side of the internet most people don't even know exists. In a way, Libs of TikTok was providing a real service for anyone craving a reality check, a one-stop aggregation of the most insane and unhinged people on the internet. But beneath the humor, something much bigger was brewing. Parents were now getting an unfiltered look at what was happening in their kids' schools, and they were not pleased with what they saw.
My room does not have a flag. It used to be there, but I took it down during COVID because it made me uncomfortable. My kid today goes, hey, it's kind of weird that we just stand and then, we say it to nothing. And I'm like, oh, well, I gotta find it. Like, I'm working on it. I got you. In the meantime, I tell this kid, we do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he looks around and he goes, oh, that one?
This video sparked a massive backlash with the parents, so much so that it was picked up by the mainstream news and the school had to issue a formal response rebuking the teacher.
Newport Mesa Unified School District says what that teacher says in that video does not align with the district's values. They are now investigating this. Meanwhile, a lot of parents are very concerned and shocked by what they heard that teacher say.
This is a prime example of grassroots outrage leading to someone's firing, not due to some anti-LGBT bullying or hatred, but because everyday people were genuinely angered by the smug anti-American attitudes of those they entrust their children to. How about this homework assignment sent home with a 4-year-old in British Columbia? I don't think I can even read this on YouTube without getting in trouble, but essentially it's a self-touching worksheet sent home with a student, asking them to identify private places in their home where they could touch their penis or vulva. There's a lot of noise made about this groomer narrative, but this is crazy. What kind of a school thought this was acceptable? It demonstrates horrible decision-making, if nothing else. People would have no idea this thing was happening in schools if it was not for Libs of TikTok. Check out this university professor who thinks that society is too harsh on minor attracted people.
I use the term minor attracted person or MAP in the title and throughout the book for multiple reasons. First of all, because I think it's important to use terminology for groups that members of that group want others to use for them, primarily because it's less stigmatizing than other terms like pedophile. A lot of people, when they hear the term pedophile, they automatically assume that it means a sex offender.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hard sell, buddy. If you had told me these people existed, I would not have believed you. But after watching the video, it's not just clear that they're real. They're so self-assured in their views that they feel completely comfortable broadcasting them. Unsurprisingly, this individual ended up losing their job after facing massive backlash from the students and public at large. This is someone who had been actively seeking attention to promote a book they wrote, an important distinction compared to the latter half of this video. At this point, celebrities are even jumping on the bandwagon and talking about how much they love this account. Most importantly was Joe Rogan in August of 2021.
There's a thing called Libs of TikTok. It's a page where he curates all the most crackheaded things.
After discussing the account on his podcast, it rocketed from 60,000 followers to 180,000, tripling in only a few weeks. At the same time, the account was receiving attention from Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingraham, the Gollum, Meghan McCain.
My name is Meghan McCain, and I'm on a news show called The View.
The New York Post, The Federalist, the list goes on. Libs of TikTok was quickly becoming public enemy #1. The owner of the account had managed to remain anonymous until now, but that was all about to change. In April of 2022, Taylor Lorenz enters the arena. I need to make a quick disclaimer before the next section of the video. This is not a political video. I'll say it again. This video is not political. I hate everyone involved. I hate Taylor Lorenz. I hate Libs of TikTok. I hate Twitter. I love you though, dear viewer. Click like and subscribe. If this video is successful, it will piss off people on the left and on the right, which is how you know I'm correct. If you want to know my political stance so you can attack me, I'll tell you, Unabomber. I find everyone in this space repulsive, and I'm shopping for cabins in Montana to get away from it all. God, this comment section is gonna be like a Tijuana knife fight. I cannot wait. All right, back to Taylor Lorenz. You guys know Taylor Lorenz, right? Come on, the ultimate cry bully. We have this amazing clip of her shedding crocodile tears while discussing online harassment and doxing of journalists.
I had severe PTSD from this. You feel like any little piece of information that gets out on you will be used by the worst people on the internet to destroy your life. It's horrifying.
That one. Well, she is on a mission to dox libs of TikTok. She enlisted the help of elite hacksaw named Travis Brown, and they got to work. They're diving deep into the Boolean bits to backstop the bandwidth. They're hacking the TCP IP into Telenet to test the Twitch games. The hypertext holy war homogenized the HTML. I don't know anything about computers, okay? I was just trying to impress you. They looked up the whois domain registry data for the Libs of TikTok website, and the owner used their full name. That's it. I hope you're happy. That's such an amateur mistake. This is why my website URL is just my full social security number. I'm playing 5D chess with these people. And the owner is Chaya Raychik.
Oh my, yes, it's over.
A 29-year-old Jewish real estate agent in Brooklyn. Lorenz even went to visit Haya's address, knocking on the door and giving us this incredible picture, channeling her inner sniper wolf. Haya's information was then printed and broadcast to millions of people by the Washington Post. The left was dancing on her grave, basking in the Schadenfreude. We got amazing headlines from the soggy bagel that is mainstream media. There's a proper term for what happened to the Libs of TikTok creator, and it's not doxing. Anti-LGBTQ plus Libs of TikTok exposed. Conservatives are extremely mad, and this is my favorite. Twitter activist behind far-right Libs of TikTok revealed to be a US Orthodox Jew. Hey, I didn't say that. That was the Times of Israel, okay? The Young Turks even left their place in the bread line to tell us how good of a thing this was.
Taylor Lorenz has done such an effective job at her journalism that she has allowed for these conservatives to have a meltdown simultaneously. And I'm here for it.
Or how about our favorite communist Nepo baby, Hassan Piker?
Taylor was the person that found out who she was and basically unmasked her, the anonymous account. And I think she was very valid to do so. Before people go, oh, that's doxing. There is a difference between having a stochastic terrorist account.
The irony of this guy calling a Twitter account terrorism while he has literally interviewed Houthi terrorists. Incredible lack of awareness. They're just having fun. Their team got a point. When it's your team scoring the points, you don't worry about the ethics of the issue. Who cares? No one in the story has any fucking principles at all. Normal people with integrity had some issues with this. Did a major news publication just dox a private citizen because they didn't like her Twitter account? That seems like an issue. The Washington Post and Taylor Lorenz were quick to run for cover, as all cockroaches do when you turn the lights on. When questioned about the obvious ethical issues of doxing someone, Washington Post had this to say: Taylor Lorenz is a diligent and accomplished journalist whose reporting methods comport entirely with the Washington Post professional standards, adding that they did not publish or link to any details of the creator's personal life.
Right.
If your IQ is below 70, this response is quite convincing. You know, someone's name is not part of their personal details. And to make it even worse, they included a link to her real estate license in the original article, which included her personal home address. They later removed this from the story in an attempt to whitewash history and obscure their moral bankruptcy. Then, Lorenz, our human colostomy bag of Twitter wisdom, had this gem to share. Rather than debate doxing, I hope people can read this story and see the striking escalations of attacks against gay and trans people and the crucial role this account has played in the right-wing media ecosystem. That's like beating a homeless man to death with a hammer and then stating, I hope this sheds light on the American drug crisis. Like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? It's just naked partisanship, plain and simple. There's no integrity. There's no journalism here. It's a platform bent on punishing those it doesn't like. And the weapon of their retribution? The cry bully in chief herself, Mrs. Depends. Oh, I'm sorry, Lorenz. She's not a dirty diaper. She's a human being. Lorenz did have one good point though. The whois domain registry data is public, so she's just reposting already public information. Got him, you got him, Taylor. That's like some black belt level Aikido here, using Libs of TikTok's own defense against her. Well done. 1 point for Depends. But let's be real, is that true? Technically, yes. Practically not even close. Let me explain. No one knew the identity behind this infamous anonymous account. Sure, the information was buried in some obscure registry, but broadcasting it to millions? That's a dox. Call me an idiot, but I am correct. In the words of Taylor Depends, being doxed just means that somebody put all of your personal information on the internet. Everyone's information is likely technically public somewhere. When a cybersecurity expert, a reporter, and a national news organization team up to uncover and broadcast someone's identity, that's a dox. The dox did absolutely nothing to slow the growth of the channel. If anything, it added jet fuel to the fire. In April of 2022, when Haya's identity was revealed, the account had 580,000 followers. A month later, it has 1.2 million. In late August 2022, the San Francisco FBI field office that we call Twitter gave Libs of TikTok a 1-week ban for violating the hateful content policy. This was one of the many temporary bans the account would receive in 2022. Haya did what any Jewish real estate agent would do. She threatened to sue them. The letter from the lawyer is incredible. We represent journalist Haya Raichik. Why would anyone self-identify as a journalist? I'd rather you call me a instead of a journalist. I would prefer to be on my hands and knees, giant in hand, just gagging on the than be called a journalist. When the Twitter files were released, the not really that shocking truth came to light. The Libs of TikTok account had been placed on a trends blacklist. Internal communications revealed that Twitter management acknowledged the account hadn't actually violated any policies, but they decided to ban it anyways. Not exactly groundbreaking stuff, just another example of a recurring pattern of censorship. From the doxing incident through 2022, Haya was in this weird gray area, unmasked but still technically not a public figure. That changed in December of 2022 when she stepped into the spotlight for an in-person interview with my boy, Tucker Carlson.
You know, when my account started growing, I realized the hatred that the left has and their violent nature. And I was like, I'm going to remain anonymous.
Yes.
I was doxxed. My name was shared. My location was shared.
You haven't really editorialized very much. What you've done, essentially, is bring to further light, to publicize what they're already saying in public. That's your crime.
They want their content out there, but they don't want us to see it.
And they have no valid complaint against you.
Right.
You haven't violated anyone's privacy. You're posting what they put on TikTok.
They're allowed to post it, but we're just not letting notice.
This is a very critical turning point in the story. Haya's moral stance is very clearly defined here. She's simply collecting and reposting public videos, adding little narration, and not rallying a mob to anyone's doorstep. And honestly, this is a defensible position. She's not inciting violence, not doxing, just reposting. But that's all about to change. Haya is now poised to rise again, Christ-like. A martyr brought low by the evil left will be reborn as the instrument of their own undoing. The right-wing media hails her as a victim of the left's hate machine. From this point on, every ounce of her influence, her credibility, and her celebrity will all stem from that doxing. And as she sees it, it's a license for her own spiral into hypocrisy. She's been through a lot. There's no question about the flood of hate and pressure directed her way. I can't imagine how stressful that is. But this persecution fueled a savior complex, a mission of her own making. After the Tucker Carlson appearance, she posted this declaration on her new website. I will be more effective out in the open, teaching others how they can make a difference in this culture war. Oh God. I decided it was time to be boots on the ground and volunteer every ounce of myself to fight back. When she says boots on the ground, let's be real, she means slippers on the couch. Every time someone non-ironically says culture war, a part of me dies inside. Twitter is crawling with people like this. They think that a 12-hour retweet marathon of end wokeness is somehow going to shield America from the threat of communism. Grandma, tell me about the great culture wars of 2020. Well, there I was, lying on the couch in 3-day-old underwear, when Kamala HQ launched a surprise ambush. It was pitch dark. I had just tossed some Hot Pockets in the microwave. I got winged by 2 brutal ratios. And that's how I earned my purple caps lock medal from the Twitter forest, boy. These people are pathetic. The term keyboard warrior was meant as a joke. These people actually think they're in the keyboard army. I'm looking right at you, fat boy. By 2023, Haya had evolved, or devolved, from simple reposting to meticulously crafted takedowns and targeted doxing of her enemies. She launched a Substack that allowed her to push beyond Twitter's limits, laying out her entire evidence in fully constructed narratives. Let's dig into some of her 2023 posts. How about the OnlyFans preschool teacher? A sentence I never thought I would have to say. This woman was taking topless photos inside the school bathroom and posting them to her OnlyFans account. Libs of TikTok was made aware of the account, found the woman's identity, discovered where she works, and contacted the school. Something important to note in this email, it is not written by Haya. She now has staff investigating these cases. It's becoming a business. The woman's identity was broadcast to Haya's millions of followers with the school contact information. The woman was immediately fired.
You haven't violated anyone's privacy.
Am I supporting this woman's behavior? No. Was taking pictures inside of the school very stupid? Yes. Is it the responsibility of Libs of TikTok to track these people down, dox them, and get them fired? No. This is the exact same thing that Taylor Lorenz did, which everyone was rightfully upset by. Let's keep going. How about the trans minor who won homecoming queen at some random high school in Missouri? Same pattern. Haya catches wind of it, collects the publicly available information, including the student's name, the high school's contact information, and then broadcasts it.
You haven't violated anyone's privacy.
An avalanche of hate follows. The school even hires private security for the homecoming dance. This one is just blatantly disgusting and immoral. The person being doxxed was 17 years old. That alone is morally repugnant. But also, the person was not crowned homecoming queen in some DEI fervor. It was voted on by the student body. Haya goes on to morally virtue signal in her post, stating, imagine a little girl who dreams of becoming homecoming queen one day. Fast forward to high school. She gets nominated. Yay! She knows that she might not win, but to lose to a guy? Seriously? What could be more insulting? This is so obviously performative. You're crying defend the kids while you reach out and strike one. On top of that, this is the most low stakes who gives a shit topic ever. You're a media icon with massive influence and your culture war front lines is a random high school in Missouri? I'm an American and I forgot that Missouri was a state until right now. Who cares? This is just transparently hateful. You can't sit with us! This has nothing to do with your stance on trans people. The only question that matters is, are you okay with doxing minors because you disagree with them? The account adds almost 1 million new followers in the first 6 months of 2023. Haya is doing speaking gigs all over the country for feckless infants who want their own moral degeneracy validated by a brainless Twitter celebrity. The cash is rolling in too. Evidence? Her website is now hiring full-time staff. Libs of TikTok LLC is looking to hire a full-time content creator to join us in our mission to protect and promote the well-being of children through accurate and impactful storytelling. That is such adorable phrasing for what's really happening here. This is a full-blown business now. A genius one too, if you're comfortable operating without a scrap of principle. Haya's business model is simple. She sells you outrage, and then she sells you vengeance as the cure for that. She must have picked up this trick from the Bayer-Monsanto merger. Sell the food that makes people sick, and then sell them the medicine to fix it. One random Reddit user, surprisingly, nailed it. And yes, I hate myself for quoting Reddit. You love Libs of TikTok because it shits on people you hate and feeds you a steady stream of the most idealized distortions of your political and cultural enemies. The most idealized distortions of your cultural enemies. God, that's good. That's exactly what it is. She did include one of those HR DEI pictures in her hiring post, which is a hilariously subtle troll. Things are accelerating now. Her operation is expanding. The machine is growing more sophisticated by the day. She's effectively running a doxing as a service enterprise. If you see someone online doing something you don't like, just send it to Haya and she'll nuke them from orbit. Annoying DEI lady complaining about her boss, doxed. Random trans person gets out of jail and lives in the wrong place, doxed. Fat old guy steals Trump sign, doxed.
You haven't violated anyone's privacy.
Remember the term snowflake? It was a great insult born out of the early days of the social justice warrior era. A jab at the people on the left who were obsessed with cancel culture and safe spaces on campus.
Saying God bless you after somebody sneezes.
Oh, that would be a microaggression.
But now, Libs of TikTok leads the right-wing snowflake movement. She's become the very thing she claims to despise, demanding that anyone with opposing views be silenced, swept away to create a safe space for the kids. This is the same woman who decries censorship and threatens to sue Twitter over temporary bans.
I'm taking a nap here. Okay, take a nap right there then.
Yet here she is, spearheading a censorship crusade. Her credibility rests entirely on her mistreatment and doxing by the media. And yet she's the field marshal of doxing in the culture war. Libs of TikTok has become the Madame Defarge of the right-wing snowflake movement. That's a high-class reference, Google it. Haya's campaign of scorched earth retribution charges ahead into 2024. Then, on July 13th, in Pennsylvania, something really crazy happens.
What happened?
In classic form, Haya, the swamp creature, finds a way to make it about her. In a completely unhinged post on her website, she declares war on anyone who dared to voice a spicy take about the Trump assassination attempt. To every radical leftist cheering the attempted Trump assassination, you're on notice. I've officially dedicated all of Libs of TikTok's resources towards exposing these people to the world. Believe me, they will be held accountable by society.
You sound insane.
She then goes on to brag about the scalps she's already collected in this witch hunt. In fact, because of Libs of TikTok, 10 deranged leftists have already been fired from their jobs because we showed the world that they support murdering President Trump.
What's going on with you?
Calling someone deranged in all caps is less effective than you might imagine. I actually can't believe Trump can even campaign with this lady hanging off his balls every day. And you might think those links on the page are sources to something? No. Every link goes to her donations page. 12 links on one page. This is what I'm talking about when I say that she's selling vengeance. This entire post boils down to, are you angry about what people said online? Pay me and I will make them suffer. I can hear the legal experts whose day job is selling home pest control in the comments already. Wishing death threats on the president isn't freedom of speech. Fine, you're technically right. But let's be real here. Your Facebook posting auntie is hardly a national security threat. This is when Haya's retribution machine kicks into overdrive, no longer content with vague moral outrage or the pretense of saving the kids. She's going after the small fish now, ordinary people with no following, and targeting their personal Facebook pages, dragging them into her spotlight. The mask is off, and what we see is pure evil. She's reached her final form, an angry, childless, egomaniac on a rampage, relentlessly punishing anyone who dares to stand on the opposite side of her political battlefield. And this leads us to the incident that inspired me to create this video. After the Trump assassination attempt, a lot of people said crazy shit online. One such take, and a pretty mild one at that, was posted on Facebook by a woman in New York. The post said, "Too bad they were not a better shooter." You know, not great, but not exactly some violent extremist. She probably posted this in 2 seconds while taking a shit and didn't think twice about it. Some local lunatic was upset by this post and confronted the woman at Home Depot where she works.
Are you Darcy Waldron? Yeah? Okay, from Cayuga? And you think that the shooter should have been a better shot? Is that what you posted on Facebook? Pretty anti-American if you ask me. As a veteran, I'm disgusted. What have you provided to this country? Huh? You are ridiculous. And I'm making you famous.
Even this is kind of milquetoast. I mean, it's pretty psychotic behavior to show up at someone's job and harass them because you didn't like their Facebook post, but it's a local conflict, nobody cares. Well, Haya found the clip, tags Home Depot, and then broadcasts it to her millions of followers. This video has 19 million views. It's worth noting that this clip contains the woman's full name and the city where she lives. Haya follows up the tweet the next day, victoriously declaring that they've saved the world and gotten this woman fired from her job.
Stop it. Get some help.
Are you happy? Is this the world you're working to create? A world where some middle-aged woman in a small town loses her meager job because you didn't like her Facebook post? The wage of a cashier at Home Depot is $15 an hour. That's $32,000 a year, minimum wage in New York. This woman is probably driving a 20-year-old Toyota Camry to work every day, where she scrapes together a few pennies to provide for her family. Meanwhile, Haya is sitting in a penthouse apartment somewhere, planning her next hair appointment and vacation to the Hamptons this summer, most likely making several $1 million per year, and considers the destruction of this poor woman's life a political victory. You are empty. You're a void. You have nothing inside of you, Haya. It's just sad, attacking working class Americans just trying to get by. She went on to dox 50 more people in a similar manner, ruining their lives, destroying businesses, uprooting families and children, while claiming to protect the working class and kids. She's really discredited her entire movement with these attacks, and if you're her supporter, you should be furious. There's this classic saying, the ends justify the means. But in reality, there are no ends. It's only means. We will never reach the end of history where all of your horrible actions can be somehow justified. Chaya is 29 years old. She's a child, dispensing moral panic like it's Oxycontin in 2010. Just listen to this woman talk. She's an actual moron.
This is like, what? I love this one because it's like, you don't know like what's going to happen. It's like kind of like suspenseful. And then that happens, it's on your screen. And you're like, what the hell?
She sounds like a sorority girl after 15 White Claws. And it gets worse when there's a script she has to read.
The death of 16-year-old non-binary student Next Benedict has stirred outrage across the country. The media is blaming this tragedy on Oklahoma's anti-trans laws.
Listen, I don't know if she has too many chromosomes or not enough chromosomes, but like there's something going on here. I do have a theory. Hold on, let me put my hat on. Okay, there we go. This whole gender panic thing is a psyop, and Libs of TikTok is a puppet. Look at the mega supporters of this cause. Larry Fink with BlackRock and George Soros. I mean, just look at these guys. Do you honestly believe these are noble souls fighting for the downtrodden? BlackRock is the largest asset management firm in the world, responsible for $11 trillion. But no, trans rights is the most important issue to them. Okay. This is one of the many tools they use to drive Americans apart. Keep us plebeians busy fighting each other so you don't notice the hyena chewing your foot off. Oh, your rent has doubled in the last 3 years because BlackRock bought every house in your city? You got stabbed on the way to Burger King because the Soros district attorney decriminalized crime? These people are building a society designed to keep you in perpetual serfdom, and you should be angry. Can't worry about that. I'm too busy burning my neighbor's house down because I didn't like his Facebook post. Anyone who encourages you to hate your countrymen is your enemy. We're all in this together, guys. I love you. See you next time.